This is Henares making your day with part 11 of a book I wrote on Philippine history. Chapter, Rizal, the first Filipino. How do we explain this obsession of Rizal? After all, whatever misfortunes Rizal and his family had suffered before he wrote the Noli, they could not be blamed on the friars. No friar caused the imprisonment of his mother. The friars had not molested his brother Pasiano since the Burgos execution. A constabulary lieutenant, not a friar, had assaulted young Rizal in Calamba. Indeed, the friars, as Pasiano himself told Rizal, had shown extraordinary favor to the Rizals by leasing to them the lands in Pansol, coveted by so many others. Why then the obsession against the friars? We might as well ask ourselves today why Claro M. Recto, J.V. Cruz, Max Sullivan, Teodoro Locsin of the Free Press, the Philippine Chamber of Industries, the Lapiang Manggagawa, and the students of the University of the Philippines and Lyceum are so critical of Americans, among whom are close friends, good business associates, respected teachers, and well-paying employers. Perhaps Rizal and his propaganda movement found that the Spanish friars in 1886 were the real enemies of political and economic independence, just like the Americans of today, who imposed parity through blackmail, plotted to frustrate our industrial revolution, and use us as cannon fodder in their holy war against communism. Perhaps Rizal, Recto, and their nationalistic following felt that the time has come to strip the Spanish friar and the American carpetbagger, even at the cost of fairness and charity, of their sacred immunities and mystical powers, and expose them to ridicule and contempt. More about this after these messages. This is Henares making your day with part 11 of the book I wrote on Philippine history. Chapter, Rizal, the first Filipino. The Nolimitangere is a turning point in Rizal's life. From here on, he is a prisoner of its logic. He is to be carried from conclusion to conclusion, from consequence to consequence, in a fatal action and reaction. Inevitably, his faith would lead into La Solidaridad, the organ of Filipino nationalism, precursor to today's Free Press and Manila Times, to El Filibusterismo, an openly subversive successor to the Nolimitangere, to Liga Filipina, a nationalistic political organization from which Andres Bonifacio, a bodeguero in a brick factory, emerged to found the Katipunan, a nationalistic revolutionary society, to the Pitan in exile, and finally to Bagumbayan on that bleak December morn when he died before the dawn broke upon his fatherland. Viva España! Screamed the Spaniards joyously as the Americans toasted each other around their cozy bars upon the death of Claro M. Recto. Rizal was the first Filipino, according to Leon Maria Guerrero. Before Rizal, we were a conglomeration of many tribes which the Spaniards divided and ruled and called Indios. And so it went throughout the centuries as one tribe after another took arms in protest against a wine tax, against forced labor and Acapulco galleons in the name of the old gods or in the name of the Spanish Empire and the Catholic Church. Whether the revolt was long-lived like the Dagohoys in Cebu, which lasted 85 years, or as short-lived as Novales, was outlawed at midnight, was proclaimed emperor at 2 o'clock in the morning, and shot at 5 in the evening. Natives, allies, converts, mercenaries fought against natives and kept the archipelago Spanish and Christian. Malong proclaimed himself king of Pangasinan. Almasan, the king of Ilocanos. Apolinario de la Cruz, the king of the Tagalogs. No one proclaimed himself a Filipino. It was Dr. Jose Rizal who taught his countrymen that they could be Filipinos who are members of a Filipino nation, a narrower concept than the Universal Church or the Spanish Empire, a nation that embraces all the tribes and serves the interests of its members above those of other nations. More tomorrow, my dear friends. This is Larry Henares, making your day, saying good day, God bless you. Thank you very much for being with us. Till next time, hasta la bye-bye.